let's get to the next subject because I'm kind of excited about this subject. I don't know why I'm excited, fam, because we don't see the numbers like we should.
Mm-hmm.
We never see the numbers in any of our movements that we should. But we've had an Occupy Wall Street trying to get rebooted of sorts. Gavin Mario Wax of the New York Young Republicans rebooted the Occupy Wall Street movement. He took the Occupy Wall Street, and after this Reddit scam with Wall Street Bets and Robinhood, they got out there in New York near Wall Street. So check it out. This is Gavin.
What do they want? They want us to bail them out? They want Janet Yellen to make phone calls for them? Yeah. They want to shut down trading? Are you kidding me? Absolutely. Are you kidding me? If you did anything like that in your day job, you'd be fired and on the street. But these schmucks in Wall Street and Greenwich or wherever they are, they can do whatever the hell they want to do with no repercussions?
Hell
no repercussions. Where's our $2,000 check? Where's our money? They give us $600. These guys, they take billions from us. Billions. We bailed them out in 2010. They're screwing us again today. They want their own little club where they can make money, where they make the trades. They'll take your cash. Don't get me wrong. You could go on Robinhood. You could buy your blue chips. You could buy your Apple. You could buy your Tesla. But don't you dare think you're going to play fair with them. Don't you dare think you're going to beat them at their own game with the short squeeze. The short squeeze has done more to put a finger up to the establishment than anyone ever has before. So God bless the short squeezers, God bless Wall Street Bets, because they took a sledgehammer to the establishment this past week. The largest transfer of wealth is correct. This is massive, and they want to bury this.
So, fam, he sounds like he sounds a little bit like you over there.
Yeah, well,
he sounds like you. You're a true progressive over here, fam.
It's interesting to me that a Republican would say that, because the Republican Party hasn't done anything for you either. As far as giving the wealth back, they're pro Wall Street, just like the Democrats are. They're pro corporations. Donald Trump issued one of the largest gifts approved through the CARES Act for corporations, just like Barack Obama did 12 years ago, the same exact thing. So I think we should stop this whole Democrats or Republicans are better, because neither one is better when it comes to actually stopping this, because it doesn't matter. Donald Trump would have allowed this to happen too. He would have allowed it, because at the end of the day, they're billionaire elites, and this is what they do. And you're right, this is about the little guy. I just think it's interesting that he's, talking about sticking it to these hedge funds, because you're right. I mean, it's put it on display more than anything, because the game is rigged. So no matter what people try to do, the game is rigged. They can come in and stop you. But it is showing people just how rigged the game is. And this right here is also showing that people are angry. People are angry across the board. Well, like angry that they didn't get their money, angry that their businesses are getting shut down, angry that even when they try to play the game and try to beat these people at their own game, it's rigged. So when you have a population that's angry, what do as an empire? You try to make them fight against each other. This is what we shouldn't be doing. We shouldn't be fighting against each other. We should be talking to this guy and saying, wait a minute, like, we may disagree on Medicare for all. We may disagree on these things, but you're talking about going after these people. I'm down to do that.
Yeah. He also mentions in the speech throughout, and there's a lot of this press conference over here, only like 30 people showed up there, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny because there were a couple anti-Trump people and a couple Trump people, and they were like kind of having their little feud on the side, when he's been like kind of pointing out this guy. He's pointing out to the establishment. He says the establishment several times in this speech over here and several times in this press conference. So it's very interesting, because this was the movement when everybody got together, went down to Wall Street. We understood the economics of what was going on years ago, and they went down there protesting what Wall Street was doing, because Wall Street pretty much just raped everybody dry after 2008, and they cleaned it up in 2010. They took money away from people from their pension funds. They sacked the economy left and right. And really, like, some of these kids who went back after them, I shouldn't say kids, are these people that went back after these big hedge funds, they were people who remembered what happened to them years ago. The fact that they were living off dried pancake powder mix and dried potato mix, because they had to suffer. They moved out of their houses, and so they came back. This, to me, is something that's historic in a way, because they use their own method against them. And I know we've talked about, well, they use capitalism to fight capitalism. But I mean, I think it was a way of turning things on its head, and it is something that we need to all get together on. Gavin Mario Wax of the Young Republicans, even though he's a Republican by ideology, he's still focused on the establishment, the elites, and he knows what's going on, because he even mentions I think it's the district attorney of New York, who went after some people for certain things, and he actually commended her and championed her for a second, saying even though she's a neoliberal Democrat of sorts, we would disagree about certain things. She had the gall to go after certain people. And now Robinhood's office is in New York. They are encouraging the district attorney of New York to go after them again. Somebody who also showed up at this particular press conference and this little protest, his name is Curtis Sliwa. Okay, Curtis Sliwa is the starter. He started the Guardian Angels, which are this red beret kind of group that went around and policing New York at the time when Mayor Koch was there, and they were so just bankrupt that they couldn't have police officers out there. They didn't have any help on the streets. So people always kind of question the Guardian Angel movement, but he's been around. He's been in New York for a long time. He's actually going to run for mayor as a Republican, which I was kind of curious because I thought maybe he was a little bit of a Democrat. I don't know. He's always been an independent thinker, but I just wanted to show you a little bit of his speech too as well. He gave a good speech as well, and he talked about it. Let's bring Democrats, Republicans together. This isn't about partisan. This is about two classes, the elites and us. And then once the little guy starts getting money, they just stop the game. Oh, no. So I just want to play his little quick speech over here. He gives a good Italian baffangu. Go ahead, Johnny.
Slee wants to say something.
One last thing. Just as a memory muscle. And you've done a great job. You really done a great job putting this all together. What did they say in 2008, remember, about the whales on Wall Street? They're too big to fail.
That's right.
Remember that? They were too big to fail. So we, the average people, had to bail them out. Now that the hedge fund monsters have been caught in this situation where they don't want a level playing field, they shut down all trading. They shut down all social networking. They say that the people who invested their money, it was all stimulus money, while they were sitting at home eating their Lay's potato chips and Oreos, growing barnacles. Right, growing barnacles on their backside. Well, guess what? They're being protected because it's thought they're too big to fail. Guess what? They need to fail. There needs to be fiscal pain compliance, because that is the only language that they understand. You lose your money like we lost our tax dollars in 2008, like investors, because you're short the stock, like Goldman Sachs sells you a portfolio, then comes back, shorts the stock, and runs away with all the moolah shmoolah. A double oofa to all of you. Thank you.
All right, Johnny. Johnny, he's Johnny Ufa over there. You can be Johnny Bafangu if you want, but I really just wanted to point it out. But what happened in 2008? They did the same thing. They did it to the people, and nobody stopped them. Okay, when the housing market was going to shit and all these CDOs were about to fail, they packaged them up and they sold them to people who invested pension money, retirement money.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And they knew it. And as soon as they sold it to them, they walked out the door and they started planning to short the stocks.
Yep.
And they did that. They criminally did that. Here you reverse the situation.
Bailed out.
And they got bailed out with our tax money. And I like the way he calls them gold mine sacks, right?
Yeah.
So this supposedly, fam, spawned people like Elizabeth Warren, who said that she got involved with politics because she never wanted to see what happened in 2008 happen again. Well, fam, what do you got for us over here?
Well, Elizabeth Warren, I mean, if you read this carefully, is actually taking the side of these hedge funds. She drafted this whole thing, warren.senate.gov, her press release talking about this. And basically she said, casino-like swings in stock prices of GameStop reflect wild levels of speculation that don't help GameStop's workers or customers and could lead to market instability. Today I told the SEC to explain what exactly it's doing to prevent market manipulation. Market manipulation.
She's saying that what they did in Wall Street Bets, Reddit, saying, I like the stock,
right,
is Wall Street manipulation.
Right.
Bafangu, Elizabeth Warren. And next time you read Elizabeth Warren, Claude, I think you should do Elizabeth Warren imitation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should practice that.
I don't know how to be a fake
casino-like swing prices, like GameStop. You know, when she does that little reflect wild levels of speculation.
Warren is more Native American.
Fam, you've been calling out this lady for a long, long time. We talked about her in the elections, about how the snake emoji came about.
Yeah.
Well, look at this right over here. The lady in 2008, she said this is the sole number one reason why she got involved with politics and became a politician and became a senator, was because she didn't want to see the little guy get screwed by the big guy anymore. So here's the little guy banding together their resources and saying, hey, and they're going after, let's be clear here, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't know if you understand this. I don't know if we made this clear the last show. The reason why they went after this stock is that they saw this hedge fund doing something which should be illegal. They were short selling 140% of the stock. So they knew if there was any movement up, it would jump the price way up because of their nefarious actions of these hedge funds. So that's why they did it. She doesn't mention anything about this in the letter. She doesn't mention any of their practices. She doesn't even mention the fact that short selling, okay? And what the guy talked about, a short squeeze, is they're going to squeeze the short seller. You're going to try to profit off the backs of people's misery, of their businesses going down. And that's what they do. They see a business that's a little hurt, and they try to influence people to sell the stock to hurt them even more so they can make enough money out there. And meanwhile, you don't even, what do you get, $600 while they're creating wealth out of thin air? It's a game. They got played at their own game, and nobody's calling them out. Where is everybody? Where are the leftists calling these people out? Where's your congressperson calling these people out? They stole from you.
No, yeah, AOC did a Twitch stream, but she's not really drawing attention to the actual problem. Basically, the translation to Elizabeth Warren is what this person put below Ellen Lee. She said, hedge fund billionaires have been manipulating stock prices for decades, but I've suddenly discovered it's a problem when the tables were turned against them. Exactly. Like it's this has been happening forever. And now that the tables have turned against them, now we have to protect them. No, this isn't, like, we have been protecting them. We have been doing this forever. And like, people are realizing it. Even if people across ideologies are realizing
I love this Ellen Lee. Ellen Lee talks about the elections. This Ellen Lee is a new friend of mine on Twitter. Ellen Lee, hit us up, theconvocouch@gmail.com. I want to send you a Convo Couch shirt. You deserve one. I love what she's got to say over there. Every single time. And that is true. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing this for how long? It's a big club, fam, and you ain't in it. And
just, to kind of reflect the state of affairs and what's going on right now, of course, you have to have that mainstream media state propaganda machine spewing out this narrative, vilifying the people fighting these hedge funds. Now, some of these people might be middle class, might have more money than you, etc. All of that is true. But to take the side of hedge funds, this opinion article, and I know it's an opinion article, but the Washington Post has a tendency to do opinion articles that are on the side of the oligarchy, and rarely any opinion article that's the opposite. It says the good guys are in GameStop. In the GameStop story, it's the hedge funds and short sellers.
Hedge funds are the good
guys. Those are the good guys. America, please, let's continue brainwashing you. And then, of course, right below it, Johnny, I put Forbes on the document, because Forbes, again, 90% of media is controlled by 6 corporations. Okay, so nothing is more prescient than that when you look at this as a whole. Forbes right here, ignore the populist GameStop hype. Short sellers are heroes right here. And then they go on and talk about, how they're heroes and blah, blah, blah. If you guys want to, pull your hair out and read it, by all means, go do it. But it's disgusting. And they frame this, they turn it around, they gaslight and say this is just causing the market to be unstable. No. What these hedge funds do is not a free market. All these people that are capitalists, which I'm not, but all these people that are capitalists, if you want to defend capitalism and say a free market, this is not a free market. This market is being manipulated for the 1%. So it is not free, even if you're trying to defend capitalism. It doesn't work. If
you don't see where the press is at and whose side they're on, the mainstream media that is, and if you don't understand that this isn't about a right-left paradigm, we had Curtis Sliwa, right? Okay, the guys that were running for Republican, had a young Republican talking for the little guys. That's where we all used to be. And these are the things that we understand that we have to be together on, right? You know what I'm saying? It's just disgusting that, because people will see these headlines and automatically think, well, it was those guys on Reddit. You know what I'm saying? They're awful. And I heard they're also right-wingers, that they're Nazis.
Right. So now you have to discredit the source.
Yes, exactly. And that's what they do. That's what the left always does. As far the political left, I mean, the political right used to be great at this.
Who cares? They're Trumpers. So who cares what they are? That this what's being done to these hedge funds, it's necessary. What's being done in retaliation for what they did is disgusting and criminal. And you can't look at something and first see, oh, who did this person vote for? Like, to then judge if it's true or not. I'm sorry, that's not how it works.
If you don't like the message, discredit the messenger. That's the neoliberal playbook, and that's the thing. Is what's it to do? To keep us divided. And when you got when you got Frank and Beans, right? Tracy Beans, which I'm glad, I mean, I see she doesn't have a lot of views. I think she was pulled on. Her Twitters. I mean, they've been messing with this woman like crazy and stuff because She's a Trumper, and she was actually putting out information from people and telling the QAnoners to stop. Like, she was one of those people, like, stop with your QAnon bullshit. Here's Patrick Burns. Let's talk to him. She highlighted that guy a lot, who said a lot of things, who pretty much the things that were true. They said if Trump doesn't win through the court cases, he's going to get on the helicopter and leave and go play golf for the rest of his life. Don't listen to these. And he even said these QAnoners are bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, and she would highlight these people and stuff and talk about it. But here she is on our podcast, Frank and Beans, okay? And if these people could understand the game that's being played against us, and once again, we don't share the same ideology as these people, you know what I'm saying? And there are areas where we're going to be not on the same team, but listen to what they say as far as what the establishment is trying to do.
Scared. Politicians are scared. Nobody takes them seriously anymore. Obviously scared the bankers this week. And now somebody asked me, well, Frank, how do we scare the news? I said, they were the first ones to be spooked.
Yeah, they've been scared.
They're the first ones to be spooked. Last week, you had Brian Stelter and a couple of his guests admit on CNN that daytime viewership is getting wrecked by random YouTubers.
Yeah.
And then they fantasize about getting OAN and Newsmax taken out by cable providers. They are completely obsolete and scared, and they were the first ones to be spooked, the media.
100%, and they're going after they're going after everything. They're trying to get Telegram deplatformed. They're trying, it's you guys, the holes, right? They're putting their thumbs in these little holes. They're trying to plug up these little holes. People are going to figure out how to talk to one another. And they're going to organize. And what this is ultimately going to do to you idiots out there who are not the listeners, the people that listen to this show looking for things because they exist, what you're going to do is you're going to bridge the divide between people who are supposed to hate each other by bringing them together via this one share. You're so over the top as you try and hug. You know, they should have left us all alone. They really should have. They could have probably affected their agenda so much more easily if they just left us all alone. But what they're doing now is waking the hell up out of everyone. People are like, oh my God, was that thing that they said months ago actually true? And, you know, are they right? Look at what they're doing to my friend over here. Labeling them things and calling them names. Well, what is this? I thought they were our side. No.
There's only one side, and they play us against each other so that they can put everything into their little black sacks. All that they can walk around the house while we're fighting with each other in the living room. They walk around the house into all the bedrooms. And they take all the jewelry, and they take all the precious heirlooms. And they put them into nice velvet black sacks, and they walk out the back door. And then, of course, they load up their trucks. They come back in, and they start mediating the fight again. And, of course, they're always the winner.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to point that out, right? Okay, that's Frank and Beans, fam. I mean, your thoughts on that? I mean, you know.
Well, our shout out to Todd Jones, who watches Tracy Beans. Like, look, I listened to a little bit of her regarding election stuff because she did point out the documents and would read them through. But I don't agree with her ideology. But what they said here is entirely true. I mean, this is what they do. They distract you, so we fight each other while they literally rob you blind, and they do it in front of you. They're like, "Hey, I'm over here. I'm gonna take this. Oh, look what he did. What? Oh!" And then you guys start fighting each other. This is what we're talking about here on the show, and I know Jimmy has talked about it, and I know other people have talked about it, but like very, very few people in independent, left, progressive media talk like to like the other side. And what I mean by the other side isn't people that are hate me or hate black people or any of that. It's people who are affected by the system and just done with this duopoly, whether they voted for Trump or not. That doesn't, like, it's okay. You can move forward and be like, okay, well, this is where we went wrong. QAnon is shit, blah, blah, blah. You can have these conversations. I would have a conversation with Tracy Beans and we would agree on this. Yeah. We would be like, oh my God, yeah, like, why can't we have a conversation where we focus on taking down these elitist pieces of shit psychopaths that are running not just the country, but obviously, as you saw with Steve, this is a global thing that the West is doing against, NATO-backed. This is NATO-backed 3-letter agency, a push to get us to conform and to get us to go under this globalist capitalist mentality that we're going to revamp and redo everything. But it's never going to be for us. It's always going to be an agenda that they're pushing to get everybody to be subservient to it. Because right now, more than ever, people are waking the fuck up. They're waking up and they're seeing that they're all getting screwed. And this is where I agree with them 100%. The mainstream media and those pundits and those propagandists that are some of these stupidest people I've ever seen, and they get paid millions of dollars to sit there and lie to you. Okay, they're some of the greatest actors too, and these people they're scared because their gig is up. And even the neo-progressives, the Sam Cedars of the world that are backed by mainstream media light, by MSNBC,
and
all these people, and they're scared too. This is why they're attacking so with such vitriol, because they know that if people unite beyond only leftist was leftist, if I start talking to Tracy Beans and we agree on something, oh my God, then our audience is going to be saying, oh, look, I agree with what Fiorella said. She might be a socialist or an anti-capitalist or a communist or whatever you want to label me, but I agree with her here. Oh, she might be a Republican. She might have voted for Donald Trump, but look, I agree with her here. What do they have then? If we're talking and not fighting each other, they don't have those weapons to use to divide us. And then we, as a people, can focus on taking them down.
Yeah. Touche, fam. Touche. And I'm glad you talked about why people get so upset when we're talking to these people. They just hit it on the nose. I think as Ziggy said it right. You need to guillotine first. Then we can get together and talk out our differences, because that's where we're at. Johnny, I did look up this here right quick because I know we have the app, but I never, used it. Here's the app Robinhood investors are using to join a class action lawsuit over GameStop's quagmire. And I love quagmire. Thousands of pissed off Robinhood investors are using a convenient app to join a class action lawsuit against the trading platform over temporary restrictions placed on GameStop and several other stocks, preventing people from buying securities in a move that artificially suppressed prices. Now, I went and grabbed the app real quick, and I was like, oh, I have the app. It's the only app I really have where I can buy anything in the stock market. I've never used it. I just joined to get a free stock because my friend wanted me to join. But I couldn't show my losses, whatnot, even though by the time I was late to the game, I wanted to buy some GameStop, and I'm gonna probably buy some GameStop tomorrow, just a little bit as symbolism to show right there. Hold the line is what they're saying.
Hold the door.
But down below they said by Friday afternoon, approximately 26,000 people had joined the class action lawsuit, while 4,000 had filed complaints with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. According to Browder, 400 more had entered arbitration via do not pay. So I like the fact that they got this out here. They can get people who have been involved. If you know anybody, send them this way. Get them part of this class action lawsuit. The only way we get them, like Curtis said, is we get them in the pocket. They were able to steal from us.
Yeah.
And I don't think we'll have any success, to be honest with you, because they have all the courts. They have all the judges. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. But once again, the more and more people join the lawsuit, the more and more people get wind of this, the more people talk about this, and the more defenses we can put up for the future. Hopefully, something can change. But yes, fan, there's an app for that.
Yeah, and just to wrap it up, I just want to say it sucks that Robinhood, the name is taken, because Robinhood, of course, if you know the tale, the mythic tale,
steal from the rich,
stole from the rich to give to the poor.
They did the opposite.
That's not what's happening. I would love to have, a joking. I would love to have a hacker who would do what Robinhood does and disperse the wealth. Just saying. But I mean, I think we're at that point, and that's just an allegory that I'm saying. But I think we're at the point where people are actually considering certain solutions because we have been robbed. We have been robbed for a very long time. This isn't the first time. This is one of the few times where people are noticing. And again, the millennial generation has gone through this twice. So you cannot tell me that we have been given a fair chance, that we have been dealt fair cards. This is the second time that our generation is dealing with this, and Gen Z is literally not going to know anything beside this. Yeah. And so it's for those people that we need to fight, and it's for all the working classes that are getting screwed. Whatever it is you believe in, I don't care if you believe in the flying spaghetti monster. I don't care if you believe in Bigfoot. Apparently, people in Seattle believe in Bigfoot. I don't really care. I don't give a crap what you believe in. What I do care is that you're ready to fight the 1%, and that you believe that people are entitled to human rights.
Yeah,
like life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and that you whatever you believe, you're not going to hurt somebody else to try to get it. And I don't believe in this capitalist system, but we can fight that once we take down these oligarchs, because I think this in itself, and she's right, it's convincing more and more people that they're all getting screwed. Instead of dividing some of us, it's actually unifying some of us by them continuing to censor people, to continuing to screw people.
Yeah.
You're uniting people.
She said they should have just left us alone, but they're waking a sleeping giant. I hope they do. You know, once again, you know, I think a lot of that stuff comes out of the whole Boogaloo Boy stories and whatnot and everything, and you know who your enemy is, know what's going on, know who's really trying to screw us, whatnot. And they are doing it, and they do it right in the open. You know what I'm saying? Fam, you should be very careful. You're wearing an I Love Putin shirt. Show everybody. There's been some talk by some high people in high places, some special people in high places, that this could be Russian influence. Take a look. Well, he's talking about the same people, right?
Okay, well, go.
Yeah, Johnny.
Stop, if you don't know, it's a video game store, and like a lot of businesses, they've been struggling because of COVID, but also because most people buy games online now. And yet, despite a sharp decline in sales, over the past 6 months, their stock price has grown by 8,000%, because a bunch of amateur investors, maybe even some Russian disruptors who are part of a Reddit community called WallStreet Bets, decided to buy a bunch of GameStop stock. GameStop, if you don't...
Johnny?
This is...
Yeah, so, I mean, that was fucking disgusting, right?
It is totally disgusting.
So, Shoe on Head tweeted that. She said, I'm losing my mind. We were watching manufactured consent play out in real time. Isn't that crazy, though?
Get guys like Kimmel.
They're still doing... It's 2021.
Yeah.
When was the Red Scare? 1960s? 1950s?
Oh my God! I mean, they're still doing it. They brought it back. They put it on life support, and now it's a living, right? It made it through.
They're gonna blame Russia as much as they can on everything, and I mean, it's no surprise. What else is he gonna say? How do you not look like a complete asshole by trying to defend these hedge funds, right? You can't. So you just have to make shit up to continue this narrative, because you're too deep down. You put that fucking dick so far deep down your throat that now you can't get it out. I'm sorry, but like I'm done with these people. I mean, like, this is what they do. This is what they do. This is all they're paid to do. That's it. And people need to learn that. I don't care what you believe in. People need to understand that these people are stacked against us.
I mean, Kimmel, I can remember him back in the days. Wow, was he a chosen one? I mean, that's just disgusting, the fact that he would do that. And let me tell you something. In the World Economic Forum of the Davos bullshit with the Great Reset, you had a Florida congressman talk about boogeymen, and he talked about the Uyghurs, when he doesn't mention our involvement when it comes to us with the Wahhabi Muslims that were over there that we funded to bring weapons into.
Where's that meme, Gloria Jones?
Yeah, so the Uyghurs, man, whatnot, and you never see pictures, really. I mean, it's just, once again, we never talk about our responsibilities and what we did.
What about Yemen?
They also, Yemen, but they also talk about, too, Navalny. Like, once again, now they're pushing, Navalny right now, and he's like a ultra nationalist.
He's not even popular.
He called people cockroaches from certain regions of Russia, whatnot.
Well, they're making him out to be this figure that he isn't.
Yes, and they're using, once again, the anti-Putin, and that's our responsibility. Putin was a little henchman of what's his name, who the Clintons really pushed back in the days, Boris Yeltsin. So be careful who you let in the door, because when they come back to haunt you, it's your fault at the end of the day.